Minecraft 1.20 introduced us to two new mobs, a sniffer and a camel. By now the hype around the update is starting to calm down, so we can discuss whether these new mobs were a good addition to the game, or was the mob vote winner a complete failure. Starting with the sniffer, we first heard about this mob back in October last year, when Mojang tweeted out a quick video showcasing what the sniffer will be able to do as one of the 3 new possible mobs coming in the 1.20. And as a result of being pretty unique looking mob, the players' first response to the mob was quite positive. Looking at all of this, it was pretty easy to say that the sniffer was a lot of players' favorite pick. And that is exactly how the vote went as well. Couple weeks after the announcement, it was revealed in the Minecraft Live that the sniffer had won.
The winner is...
the sniffer!
And confirming that it will be included in the next big update. And the sniffer didn't just win, it absolutely destroyed the other 2 mobs, gaining over half of all the votes. For comparison, this was the 2020 mob vote, which as you can see was a lot closer. All of this hyped up the sniffer even more, and people were excited to see how it will actually turn out in the game. All of this was in October last year though, and back then the update wasn't even close to coming out. It took about 8 months between October and June to release the update. And during that time we got some pretty interesting teasers and info about the sniffer that you might not even know about. And one of those was this video here. It's an interview style discussion between 2 Mojang employees. And in this video they talk a little about the work that goes into behind the scenes when designing and developing a new mob like the sniffer. For example, the sniffer was developed by a completely new team who had not developed any mobs before. And to be honest, I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. On one hand, it's a fresh take from the new team on the mobs, which means in the future we might see some more interesting stuff. But on the other hand, they lack experience developing mobs, which might result in less useful features. I guess it's too early to say, but we'll see in the future. This video also showed us an early sketch of the sniffer, and that looked like this. And what's funny is that even the developers themselves don't know what the yellow part is. Is it the sniffer's nose or is it a head?
What is the head? Is it a nose? Is it a beak?
Or 2 eyes in the front?
I still, to be honest, don't know. I mean,
but in my opinion, it looks a lot more like a nose. Also, since the sniffer has 6 legs, making the walking animation is a lot more challenging than a regular 4-legged animal. And the team solved this problem pretty easily, taking inspiration from the real world. To be more exact, from the centipedes. And if you put them side by side, you can definitely see the similarities. So that's really cool. Another funny thing about the sniffer's development was that when testing out the seed dropping feature of the sniffer, they wanted to just test and chose a random item. The random item was the beds. This caused a lot of sniffers to dig up and drop beds, which almost even crashed the testing server. Anyway, it's pretty safe to say that people are eagerly waiting for the update. One comment even saying that the developers should get a raise for making such an awesome update, even though the update wasn't even out yet. We didn't have to wait for long though. Exactly 24 days later, on the 7th of June, the Minecraft 1.20 update was released. We finally got to see if the hype was worth it. As everyone else, I quickly booted up my server from Wise hosting and invited all of my friends to check out the sniffer as well. And to be honest, I was a little disappointed, and I'll tell you why in a second. But what I like about the sniffer is that he looks kind of cute, and also the ability to only get the sniffer eggs from the warm ocean ruins suspicious sand with a low chance of 6.7%, making this mob kind of rare and desirable. So I think it was a really good idea to not make it randomly spawn all over the world. What I don't like about the sniffer though, and why I'm not excited about the update, is the fact that we got pretty much another useless passive mob. I'm all for adding new mobs and so on, but I think they should come up with some new interesting blocks and mechanics to go with these mobs as well. At the moment, the sniffers can help you dig out the ancient seeds that you can't find otherwise anywhere else, and that itself is cool. We got 2 new seeds, but what can you do with these seeds? Well, not too much. They can be used to breed the sniffers or just turn into dye. so they are basically just decorative items. And I mean, they look cool, but almost everything in this update was for decoration, so I really hope that in the next mob boat we get some more interesting and unique options. But yes, the Sniffer wasn't the only mob introduced in the Minecraft 1.20 update, we also got the Camel. So let's go back in time a bit and see how the Camel development went, and after that I will tell you how I feel about him. The Camel was introduced back in October last year, in the same Minecraft Live where the Sniffer won the mob vote.
Because I grew up interacting a lot with these, so maybe it's time to take a look at some camels.
Time went on, and exactly 3 months later in January, Minecraft released a video titled Making Minecraft Mobs, Meet the Camel, in which they gave us some insight on what goes on behind the scenes when developing a new mob like the Camel. The first step obviously is to choose what kind of a mob they even want to add in the game. In this case was the Camel. The next step was to start designing it. It could be on the paper at first, and then later on they can make some models and textures which bring it into the game. And that is how the first Camel looked like. It was basically a teddy bear with some humps. This was made just to get a feeling on how the Camel looks and feels like in the game. Eventually things evolved and we got a mob that actually looked like the Camel. A huge part of implementing a new mob, also making sure that it interacts well with the other blocks and other aspects of the game. For example, in the earlier versions, when laying down and getting attacked, they would just keep on laying down and didn't even realize that they were being attacked. Another key element was to make sure that the Camel fit into the game. But my question would be, we already have donkeys, horses and mules, like do we really need the camels? And to that the Minecraft developer Nir had to say this.
Horses are quite agile, strafing right and left is really quick in Minecraft, and camels are quite big animals, so they're a bit slower.
So yeah, there are some differences actually, and it feels like the camels will fit into the game really well. After this video came out, we had to wait for another 5 months until the update was released. And then finally, we got to play with the new camels ourselves. And to be honest, I really like the camels. They feel like a nice addition to the deserts that otherwise felt really empty. They also have some interesting abilities like dashing and sprinting, which can be used to clear steep ravines for example. And no other mob has that kind of a feature. Also, the ability to ride on the camel with your friend is always fun to do. In conclusion, I should say that I'm pretty disappointed in the Sniffer. The idea is cool, but I would add more features or abilities to him, and the Camel isn't anything special. Unless we compare it to the Sniffer, then I would say it's awesome. But as I said, the camels make the environment feel more alive and adds another quick transportation method other than horses. But I'm really interested to hear what do you feel about the new mobs in 1.20, and did they meet your expectations? Until next time, bye!